Hello and welcome to Walk the Talk. I'm Shekhar Gupta in Bengaluru, and let me tell you, if Bengaluru is the innovation capital of India, it's also the madcap capital of India. And I say madcap, obviously, in a happy sense. Rahul Narayan, the chief madcap in this place. Is that your title? Chief Madcap?
Well, it could be.
It could be.
My real title is Fleet Commander.
Fleet Commander.
That's
and you know,
correct.
Fleet Commander of this wonderful group of about 100 people
Yes.
who are trying to put a rover on the moon, purely private funded,
Yes, that's correct.
called TeamIndus.
That is
So
correct,
why
yes.
TeamIndus? You're going up, not
So-
on the river.
So Indus was more a significance of what we see ourselves, as a civilization that was glorious. And the objective of this mission, when we started it off over 5 years ago, was that big, that large. So we just wanted something that signifies who we are. And we also knew that this was going to be a team effort. So therefore, the name wasn't Indus, it was TeamIndus, as in it's going to be a team of people, team of supporters who are really going to make it happen.
So, given the kind of work you are doing, it's quite surprising that so few people in India know about it. So first, explain what does TeamIndus do, where is it trying to reach, and why?
So as I said, we were formed about 5 years ago.
You were a software person.
My background is software, so love to roll up my sleeves and start on a Friday and say by Monday I'll solve the problem, because that's how software people think. This was a completely different domain.
With a software services company in Bangalore.
In Delhi.
In
I was in Delhi, and we moved to Bangalore a little over 3 years ago. So this was a problem statement that I came across with a bunch of my friends. It basically said two-line problem statement: land on the moon, move 500 meters, and send back evidence that you've done so. Line number 2 is you have to do it while you're 90% privately funded. So this
is the Google XPrize
That is correct.
condition.
That is correct.
A private group, at least 90% private funded, should put a rover on the moon,
Yes.
make it walk at least 500
Yes.
meters, and send pictures and videos.
That is correct. So there's a very well-defined mooncast whereby they define what is a genuine video and what is how do you promote this in a public format. Mooncast, that's correct. And there is a media angle to it. End of the day, Google is a media company, world's largest. So there were very well-defined specification to the mooncast, and as an input to engineering, that's the specification that went in, that there is a certain size of a camera that you need, there is a certain mobility requirement, and to land that, there is a certain requirement of the spacecraft. To land that, to launch that, there's a certain requirement on the launch vehicle itself. So we set ourselves out to say, can we solve this entire problem as one statement? And it was never going to be an easy assignment.
And a bunch of self-starting private
Yes.
people, boys and
Yes.
girls, who actually had jobs. Most of you had jobs.
Yes, most of us had regular jobs, and most of us were doing regular things. But this came across as a problem statement that you don't have to solve, but you want to solve it.
This is your main working area.
That's correct. So this is part of our design facility. So this is our design wing. We have about 150 persons seating capacity, and we're close to 100 people who work out of here.
Right. When did you build this facility?
This is just about a year old right now. Yeah.
So you took this challenge on your own,
Yes.
dumped your job,
Yes. dumped the company that I was running, the software
Right,
company that I was
right.
running, and said that let's try and see if we can solve it. So as an engineer, the first thing that you try and do is you pick up a pen and a paper, and you say, let's break this down into 3 pieces, then the 30 pieces, and then see, can you solve each piece at a time. At that time, I thought this could be done in 2 years. I thought this could be done for $25-30 million.
Yeah, just send it by DHL to,
Yes, you
to
could.
the moon.
You could, yeah. Just make it light enough and send it by DHL to the moon.
Right.
But as you get into the subject, and that was one of the reasons that I believe we managed to get into it and actually come this far, is that we were not from the industry. If you were from the industry, you'd probably be weighed down with the challenges, the norms, the conventions of how long it's going to take, how much will you spend, is it possible to do it out of India or not? All those things will bog you down. So not being from the industry was very helpful, and we said, let's just take it one step at a time.
Bumblebee privilege.
We did, absolutely. You just dropped into a situation and you need to try and swim, otherwise you'll sink.
And see, going in outer space, landing on moon, these are things that big governments, so not all governments can do it also. So what makes a bunch of young people imagine that they can take this panga, if I may say?
It is a very big panga.
You are Rahul Narayan, but I know you are not from the south. You are actually from Bihar.
That is correct. Biharis are known to take these kind of pangas.
And many others.
And many others as well. But I think the core there was that we were able to break it down. And day one, we never put the pressure on ourselves that we're going to be able to go all the way. Neither did we put the pressure on ourselves to say that we will be the first in doing so. We were the last team to register for this competition. This competition was announced in 2007. We registered 2010, in fact early 2011. And we said, let's just see if we can survive this year. Then let's just see if we can survive the next year and actually make real progress with it. Then let's just go to the real experts and say, would you look at our progress and does this look like it's headed in the right direction? So we took it one step at a time and we finally reached a point wherein it all added up. So 2012, end of 2012 is when we moved to Bangalore. 2014 is when we got shortlisted by the organizers. So that was a big step. At that time, there were close to 30 teams. We had trouble trying to prove whether we're in the top 3 or the bottom 3. It's a competition. You can't prove where you are. So for us, that was a big moment, as an independent jury looked at what we had to present, and we were amongst the top 3 teams that they wanted to monitor for our ability to mitigate risks while on Earth. Without having to go to the moon, have you reached a maturity level by which you can prove that you can go to the moon?
So that you will design a rover and you will control it, but somebody has to take it there.
That's correct.
That's another vehicle has to take it there.
So actually there are 3 pieces to it. So the first part is obviously the launch vehicle, which gets you off Earth. We can't build that technology, and we're very lucky that ISRO has a fantastic launch vehicle in PSLV. We're talking to them. We'll hopefully get one very, very soon. And that is what will take us off Earth into what is called as low Earth orbit.
It will be a big leg up for ISRO as well.
I think it's a big leg up for engineering, for space.
I'm interrupting you. What is this Jedi Master? You are called Fleet Commander. Is this a video game?
This is part of the culture that we have here. So we aiming very, very high. We aiming to do things which are which need a different kind of a thinking, a new kind of thinking, and a new kind of boldness, so to say, to say that you'll be able to go there. So these are our fan following for Star Wars, and we have all these kinds of names.
Except that is not for real. This is for real.
Yeah, but the idea is maybe that's from the future. and eventually mankind in late 2100 will reach what you see today as fiction movies in science fiction.
So how many of you, when you joined in, were volunteers, and how many of these are professionals who you
So when we started off, when we started off, it was just a volunteer group trying to work weekends, and interns who would come in for a few months, do some stuff, and then try and take it to the next level. Very early on, we realized that this is not something which can be done in 3 months or 6 months. This is going to be a long haul 5 to 7 year program. So 2012 is when we started hiring. Nirmal was our first employee. He completes 5 years this December with us. So that's kind of where we are. So today we're primarily it's a full-time team. It's a professional team. We do have advisors who come in a couple of times a week who are part-time, but
I
otherwise
believe some of your staff is very young, but your advisors are very grown up.
Yes, so that is part of our of the secret sauce that we have here, which is we're able to marry experience with energy and get engineering out of it.
These are former ISRO.
Yes, that's correct. So we're very privileged to have. We started off with Dr. P.S. Nair. He was heading structures at ISAC, ISRO Satellite Manufacturing Division, and then we have Mr. R.V. Perumal, who was the program head for the first GSLV program. So he knows how to put so many different pieces together and get them together. So I think we've been very privileged that we've had this kind of experience guiding us. Otherwise, for us, the real story is we did start from Wikipedia. We did start from the internet, and we tried to put something which is going to land on the moon. So those were early days. Now we've close
and
to
your progress has been acknowledged. You've already got your first award from Google.
That's correct.
First grant.
That's correct. Well, it's called as a milestone prize, and we demonstrated our technology to the judges.
But a milestone prize means that there is an acknowledgement that you are for real.
Oh, absolutely. Not only that, I think it was a great leg up for all the participants, all the stakeholders of people who put this together. So whether it is our employees, our advisors, our investors, everybody
And
who
it was $1
supported
million.
us. It was $1 million.
You don't complain about that.
I don't complain about that at all. Although it has costed us much more than that to get here.
Right.
But that was very, very helpful as part of our progress.
I love it. This could be a math class someplace.
Oh yes, and then you suddenly realize why were you taught all this in school.
Right.
Otherwise, in normal life, you don't realize why was I learning about integration.
Right.
I'm never going to use it in my life ever. But
So
yeah,
I
this
believe
is
one of
very
your
new.
advisors was part of the Chandrayaan project.
That's correct. I think a whole bunch of them were part of the Chandrayaan project.
Dr. Adimuthu?
Dr. Adimurthy is obviously the authority in India who without his signature launches do not happen. So he has been somebody who's looked at our program a few times, and early on I remember we presented something that he didn't physically throw it on our face, but he said, good effort, go try again. So we went back and we really started from the drawing board, and then we started building stuff out, which made sense. We carried simulations, and the next time when he saw us, he still had feedback. He continues to have feedback. But I think that was a great eye-opener for us. For somebody who knows how to do this stuff, to look at what you've done and to say that this is B-, it's a great starting point.
So this is where you will control your own rover.
That's correct. So this is the reduced version of our Missions Operations Center.
Right.
Let me walk you in here. We have Hegde sir here, sir.
He's the dada. I said, you know the
He's
way
the
to
grandfather.
moon.
This is Mr. Hegde.
You headed the Chandrayaan 1 team,
The mission operations.
mission operations.
Yes.
So you think these fellows can get there? Or?
Of course.
Because I was asking him if he'll send this thing by DHL to the moon.
Here, task is well cut out,
Right.
and it is relatively simple, highly object-oriented. We'll have to reach the spot of our choice, and we'll have to do the needful, whatever is stipulated. Normally, any space agency will be having an ambitious program like explore, volatiles, collect, so many objectives, and the mission life is limited by fuel and power.
Right.
Here there is no such things.
Right.
We'll have to go there
Right.
and finish the task. That is it.
So what's the difference between working in a large, very well-funded government organization like ISRO with a large peer group of people of your own age and older, and then working with these bachas?
Yeah, here, see, okay, now I'm used to saying these things. Old roots and new shoots is the concept. So old, okay, experience of people like us, many are there, and new ideas. So we used to do certain things without computers and all. Now people are now doing with much better equipped, and many things are off the shelf available, and people don't have to even write programs from this grassroots level. You can collect whatever is available in Java forums and all. Task has to be told clearly. They can do better than what we did earlier.
Yeah. But for that they need a coach and master of masters.
Absolutely.